Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Excellent.
I should go to the picture.
Nice.
Is that better?
Sweet. All right, let's admit some people.
Okay.
And then we're going to mute you all.
Okay.
Excellent. Some of our cameras are off. Let's unmute everybody while we're waiting. Everyone, if you're comfortable with showing your lovely faces, you just click on that video camera down the bottom, say start video, and we'll get to see you.
Do you want to see them? Do you want to show them a picture of Ross Poldark?
Once we start getting a lot of people, I'll probably mute everybody, but there's not too many of us on right now. Christine, are you playing with a fun background? I'm here in the office, really boring, and there's some, it's look very fancy. Oh, Neil, look at that, beautiful. Where we dream we were, California.
I used to live there. No, I'm here.
Now you're here.
I'm here.
All right, right now I'm seeing 12 of us. Nobody's in the pipeline yet. We got a good 5 minutes. I feel like the kids on Zoom when they get to like interact with people for the first time in a while.
Yeah, you wave.
It's like,
Sorry, I got on early trying to figure out how to do it.
oh yeah, I've practiced a couple times. I will set up a Zoom meeting with my husband and I'm like, you got to answer so I can practice.
So I know. Everybody has their microphones turned off.
Yeah. You can unmute yourself. Even if I mute everyone, it will blanket mute us all, you all. And then if you want to speak, you can just unmute yourself.
I need to find some more backgrounds, though. I only have a couple that
That's
came
so
in
cool.
now.
That's neat.
You sort of look like an alien.
Move to the forest. That's what I can do. Whatever that is.
Oh, that's cool.
For those that just joined us and are new to Zoom, if you want to show your video, if you kind of move your cursor to the bottom, there is a bar that should show up and it will say start video, and that is going to start your video camera on your laptop or computer. If not, you can just watch.
I've already told Eric, but I'll share this story. Earlier today, I was on a Zoom meeting for business. One of the guys in California had 2 different devices. He turned both cameras on, so you could see 2 different sides of his face at the same time.
Oh, that would be
It's like, that's a bit much, guys.
See, that's just overachieving right there.
right.
During a business meeting. Like, okay.
Maybe he thought you guys would be a little bored, so he wanted, you know, both angles.
No, I want him to share a screen so I could see what he was typing. So the picture
Just
is
show
like,
us what we're
well,
doing. All right, we've got about 20. Eric, we're about 30 had signed up. Let's unmute you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was close to 30 or even 35.
All right, we got a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yep.
I'll just mute myself now.
I got it, buddy.
Nice. My tech support might come in and check in on me every once in a while.
Good evening, everyone.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hey, James.
Mr. Buer,
All right.
Good to see you.
good to see you too, sir.
Yeah.
We're up to 24 people have joined us so far. I'll give it another minute or so to, because it's 6:30, let them log on. But there is a meeting after this meeting that some people might attend both. So we have to start mostly on time.
Okay. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just had to put this on my laptop. So if you don't mind, I'm going to keep the camera off because I'm going to be eating food. So
Nice.
That sounds
What are you
good.
having so we can all enjoy it?
I was going to say steak, potatoes, and some vegetables. So
Nice.
Wow.
we just wrapped up our family or the parent meeting on Zoom. So now we're now,
Awesome. So if you have any tips to share at the end, we'll gladly take them.
we say take
Do
turns.
all the planning meetings
Yeah,
that way?
Right.
It's
Seriously,
much
this
more
is
effective.
way easier than meeting at the library. I won't lie.
Parents have to be involved when kids are on Zoom.
Exactly.
Yep.
guess if you don't mind. So my name is Michael Dixon. I'm the Cub Master for Pack 76. Can I get a roll call and introduction?
Sure. Some people, just to let you know, Michael, are muted at the moment. So I will unmute for about a minute. And then when we start the actual meeting, I'm going to mute you all again. So,
Okay.
let's see. Right now, we should be all participants should be unmuted. If you're self-muted, you actually have to click your own microphone to do that. And you'll get my introduction as the leader later.
Hey, this is Greg with Pack 76. Hey, Michael.
Oh, hey, Greg.
Hi, Michael.
Alex
Greg.
with Pack 331. Hi.
I'm Eric Buer. I'm with the council, and I'm here to help.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm Michaela. I'm Pack 66. I'm leading the meeting.
Lori
Steve
Smart,
Larson,
Pack
Pack-
34.
Steve Larson, Pack 92.
This is Steve Ross, also with Pack 331.
Nice.
Edmonds.
Are we going in a certain order? I'm Laurel.
Ross
I'm
with 300 here.
throwing
Oh, boy.
out. Hi.
Any ham radio operators? Can we get a net controller?
Here.
I haven't
All
done
right.
that in years.
That's awesome.
No
Clear?
particular order.
Sweet. All right, well, it's about 6:33. I'm actually gonna mute you all for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And, all right, everybody can hear me, correct? Yes? All right, let me just go to, I wanna be able to see everybody. So, for those of you that haven't been introduced to me as the camp card captain for council, my name is Michaela Vicari, I am a committee member of Pack 66. I am a former den leader and a mom to both a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. And really, I'd like to thank you for taking the time tonight to navigate these new waters that we're going through. A couple of things to mention before the presentation. Welcome to Zoom if you haven't used it before. I have you all muted. If you can't see yourself and want to see yourself and us to see you, down the bottom, there is a video. If you just click Start Video, it starts your camera recording. There's also a chat section in the bottom. And if you have any questions, just click on it and type your questions in. Eric is so kindly here, and he said he'd try to keep an eye on the questions as we go along so we can try to answer them as best we can. Also, at the end, if we have questions, we can physically raise our hands to, like the kids, while they're at school. So we are dealing with a very new reality here in Scouting, and it is going to be both challenging and, I think, very exciting. So how can we keep our Cubs and our families involved and active in Scouting? And really, it's by using technology to keep everyone engaged. So I am going to share my screen with you. Right, let's see if this works. And let's go to here. I can start this. So here we go. BSA has created a guideline for using technology when hosting digital meetings, be it pack meetings or den meetings. So what we've created is Scouting from Home, keeping our Cubs and families active and involved with Scouting. So how are we going to use this technology for digital meetings? So what we'll learn, what's happening with our current situation, some of the tools that are out there that can help us better engage and better interact with our Scouts and their families, what you can do as leaders to help engage them, setting up your group for success, some practices and guidelines, and then council, we also have some updates and reminders of things that we want you to be aware of. So what now? I had a leader had mentioned that he had already met with parents. Our PAC 66 has also branched out and done our very first Zoom meeting with scouts and parents and leaders. It is okay to tell scouts that things are weird. Scouting will continue. We have adopted this motto of scout on, be calm and scout on. We don't want to lose engagement with these kids who just rely on us for a lot of different things. Be sympathetic, check in, how are they doing, and we will continue the aims of scouting virtually. Remember the Cub Scout motto, do your best. So these are some of the tools that other Scout troops and BSA has encouraged us to use. Zoom seems to be one of the most popular. It's accessible because the kids are mostly using this for school. So parents and students and scouts have some familiarity with navigating. Discord is also popular. Skype, it has a 50-person limit. If you already have it, you know how to use it. It's probably one of the older digital technologies. And WebEx, I know a lot of big companies are using WebEx, and we use WebEx as well. So what can we do once we have the technology, and once you choose a technology that you are comfortable with? What types of things can we do with this digital technology? First of all, virtual meetings. PAC meetings. Invite the whole entire PAC and hand out awards. Scouts need the consistency and acknowledgement that they're still working towards something. Den meetings, have your Tigers meet, have your Lions meet, have your Webelos meet, and most certainly get your committees to meet about how they would like to approach the digital meetings. Activities, take a virtual tour to a museum together and discuss while viewing, show a skill, demonstrate an experiment and have them do it at home. There's also a lot of online games. Meetings don't have to be all about learning. They should be really interactive. It's really about keeping them connected. Like, hey, I want to go on and I want to do the scout stuff. So please let me go on and play Minecraft or Roblox or some other game with their scout buddies. One of the things that's really important too, if we're going to have meetings online, is to send communications via Facebook, email, text, updating calendars. Hey, Tigers, we're having a meeting. Please make sure to have crayons at this meeting. Here's the link to join the meeting. Parents as well, you can reach out how to download the software. Most now, if you just Google, all I had to do was Google Zoom and it said download Zoom. It was pretty easy. And testing the software. Encourage your parents to, click around before joining a meeting. Are they expected to wear their uniform? That is up to whatever leader is leading the meeting. We encourage our kids to wear their uniforms if we're meeting as a PAC meeting or a den meeting, unless you're doing like an exercise class. So I would, and we're all in our uniforms tonight. We didn't even have to say anything. Some best practices. Each meeting has its own join link. So it avoids a lot of confusion. Consider what settings to employ. Once again, muting everybody on joining and then allowing them to unmute in the beginning. And then once the meeting has started, putting everybody back on mute again. Have a test run with a group of adults if you're unfamiliar with the software. Once again, you can have a meeting on Zoom with one person, and that person could just be your guinea pig. And it really does help you to work out any technical problems. It limits surprises. I can't say it limits the fumbling around because I've practiced and I'm still fumbling a little bit, especially when you've got kids on the call and they're kind of like zooming in and out with you. especially learn how to put everyone on mute. I would say that's probably the best skill that I learned. And limit the class size. Be creative. Larger packs may require some creativity or 2 different meetings. Pack meetings could get overwhelming if you have 50 kids. So maybe you separate and you do Webelos, but then you have an AOL, and then you have the younger scouts, and it might just avoid mass chaos. Although Zoom can hold up to 100 people, I don't know if that's what you want to do. So how to run a meeting and some helpful hints when you actually get into the technology. The first meeting, acknowledge how this is different than the regular meetings. Allow the kids to express, oh, I wish we were meeting in person. I miss seeing my friends. You can also explain the tool to parents. A lot of adults have used this tool. Some might not have ever used the tool. Talk about virtual etiquette, going on and off mute. If they're using it in school, what are the rules about being on a call that you have at school? And then talking about how we can implement those same rules as a Cub Scout meeting. Have Den leaders or other leaders promoted to co-host during the call, so everything's not on one person. Somebody can help monitor those who are not on mute. Somebody can help answer chat questions. Somebody can help calling out, if a kid has their hand raised and you don't see them, somebody can say, hey, Johnny wants to speak. Restrict the chat to hosts only, and treat the meeting like an in-person meeting. We started with the flag salute, the scout oath, the scout law. We really encouraged as much physical participation and parent participation. I think this is really an opportunity for us to engage parents. They can't put the kids in a meeting and sit in a corner. They're there with the kids, and it's an opportunity for us to really get these parents doing what the kids are doing. So during the call or video conference, take roll at the beginning of call, make sure all the mics work, explain what you expect each scout to participate, so clarify what participation looks like. The presenters should be the featured video, show how to use the raise hand or similar. I think for my Zoom, it's a clap hand. There's no raise hand, little button at the bottom. And this helps identify so that leaders can call on scouts if they have a question or they would like to be the next to participate. So keeping track. So how are we going to know who's participating and who is doing what with their dens? So utilize your den leaders. If you are the Cub master, really allow the den leaders to say, hey, I'm going to host meetings. You don't have to run every meeting. They can kind of keep track of the meetings that they're doing, either via spreadsheet, scout book, other tracking software, what to note, the date of the meeting and who attended, what was covered, and notes on requirements not covered. So if you're going to start talking about a requirement and the kids can start at home, but they might have to finish it when we're done being isolated at home, just keep note, we still have to finish such and such. And final thoughts. Try it, get learning, adjust, repeat, and definitely please share with us your success stories scouting at home. We're really looking forward to seeing how involved everyone can be within the scouting community. So who could do it? You can do it. Some quick updates and notes from the council. Day camp and twilight camp are still happening. Early bird registration has been extended to April 15th. Have your coordinator register today. Resident camp is happening. So it's now open to incoming 2020 Tigers through Arrow of Light. You can click to register today. It's also all on our Mount Baker Council website. Labor Day Family Camp. It is something we are doing new this year. Details are to come, but just if you want to encourage your parents it's a great intro to camping. Our trainings are being postponed and rescheduled. And despite that, scouting continues. Our staff is still working, our volunteers, we're here, and we're still working with you. The way things are happening is different, but the mission is definitely still the same. So what I did really quickly is throw up some ideas for virtual den meetings. So we kind of get the gist of how we could do it. If it's not done already, Cyber Chip really should be your first meeting to talk about online safety and what are the rules. It's a great intro and it's a great first meeting. Some other ideas that I had, you could certainly do a virtual bike safety meeting. Tell your parents if the kid has a bike and a helmet, and you can have the kids show off their bicycles and teach BSA bike safety guidelines. You could do an activity with the kids using their hand signals. I'm turning right, I'm turning left. You could do a service den meeting. You can make cards for the elderly, the doctors, all the nurses out there, everybody who is on the front lines. Tell the kids, hey, bring some paper and crayons and markers. We're going to talk about what it means to do service and support other people. First aid is another great virtual den meeting. We all have stuff at home that could make the beginnings of a first aid kit. So tell parents to bring plastic sandwich bags and Band-Aids and antiseptic wipes if you have them. The other one I thought would be really a fun den meeting is communication. And all they need for this is a blindfold or their neckerchief. And you can talk about ways we communicate with each other, verbal, nonverbal. What do we use to communicate? Sight and sound. And then they can blindfold mom and dad and use words to move them around the house without bumping into things, and then discuss how they did. And once again, all of these have to have parents with them. And so that's what excites me the most about this, is I think that there's the parent involvement. And last but not least, here are some resources for you. Zoom, how to join a Zoom meeting, accessibility options, options for the blind, virtual background, Zoom Help Center. WebEx is very similar to Zoom. And we've also found that we're getting a lot of resources from North Cascades, their hashtag scouting from home. So these are some really great online resources for you. And that is the end of the presentation. So I am going to stop sharing and I am going to come back to you. All right. Here we are. And let me see, does anybody, Eric, has anybody asked any questions so far?
Yeah, the only question that showed up right away was actually because of a typo. When we were looking at the upcoming events, you mentioned that the early bird fee for day camp had been extended through April 15th. It's actually extended all the way through April, so all the way till April 15th.
Oh, excellent, that's even better.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the only,
Cool.
yep, that's the only question that came out to all of us. Greg wants to know what some ideas for how we can give awards virtually at PAC meetings.
So I would say, while you cannot physically hand an award to someone, printing out a certificate so that a cub can see their name, maybe, and pin the badge or the patch to it or the belt loop to it, hold it up, say, you know, this is going to so-and-so, let's all give, you know, rounds of applause. So while the physical award can't be there, they can see that their name is actually attached to the physical award, and, you know, everybody at home can clap. That would be how I would do it.
I think we could also make a PowerPoint slide say that just is that certificate, and so as we're ready to announce it, we
Do that too.
bring that up. We could even have fun with animations, right, and have their name appear after the certificate shows up, and then we send the physical stuff along as we're able.
Yep. Anybody else? I'm trying to see if I can see and make sure I am seeing everybody. All right. Nope. Well, once again, thank you so much. I know we're also working on more resources and more materials we can provide you for den meetings and PAC meetings, maybe even some stuff we do on, you know, the council level to get the kids involved in earning some stuff. Cub Scouts is a little different than Boy Scouts, and we want them to be able to participate as much as possible with council, not just their dens. I know Scouting is gonna be doing the same. Oh, James.
Yes, Michaela, thank you. Great job. Is the PowerPoint presentation available to us after this session?
I believe we are, Eric, are we going to post it on the council website?
Yeah, we're recording this session right now, and so the recording will be available, but we can also post just the slides. Like.
Excellent, thank you.
Links in there, yep.
Looks like Greg's also wondering whether our Scout stores are open to get awards physically. Right now, our stores are closed. It won't be open until after April 8th at the moment. And we'll see what happens with the stay home, stay healthy order, if that continues or not at that point. So right now we're closed, unfortunately. So maybe a virtual award is the way to go if you're presenting stuff before then.
Yeah.
The store is there and it's full of all sorts of goodies. So as soon as we can open it up, we will for you. Copy the presentation. Date advancement is due. Neil has a question here.
More of a comment. National understands that normally the Cub advancements are due at the end of the school year, and the school year is kind of not where it was. So there is some extension. Whatever date National sets for that extension, that's the day that Scout Book and Internet Advancement is going to cut it off for simple advancements. If you have individual scouts who, because their family wanted to hold still, didn't do anything, or if some other circumstance comes up, let me know, let the district advancement committee know, and we can make allowances for people who finish their advancement, say in September. So at the beginning of the year, if that's when they get back into it, then on an individual basis, we can look at that kind of stuff.
Good.
National is going to let you enter it a little bit later than normal, but even after that, we can look and see what the circumstances are.
Yeah, Neil, did that go all the way to July 31st?
That's Internet Advancement right now. So beyond that, then it's case by case. But we're going to work with you. It's not, oh, you have to skip a badge. It's, well, I didn't do anything because my parents wanted to hold still, or I didn't have an internet connection, or whatever the cause is. Let us know. We'll work with you. We'll make certain that every scout who wants to get the advancement has that opportunity.
That's great. Good.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see. So Brianne's wondering about a solution for hiking and outdoor activities. And that's a challenge because we can't gather right now, but the stay home, stay healthy order does encourage us to still go out and about and be active as much as we can while maintaining our social distance requirements. Neil, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Nationals allowed parents to sign off on advancements for their scouts, which means
so
it's a hiking or outdoor activity with the family instead of with the unit that can be signed up.
That would definitely be covered under that.
Yeah.
So the scouts' parents can, in Scout Book, sign off the requirements, which would include the outdoor activities.
Okay. Greg is wondering, is the Friends of Scouting campaign going to extend the deadline for free camp and advancement? That is a great question.
And Brian question.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one off the top of my head, Greg. So I'm going to have to check with Brian Lechner, our Director of Development, and get back to you on that one. I know that they're facing a lot of challenges with Friends of Scouting and are definitely working hard to figure out how all of that will work. So I'm sure that there will be more announcements coming up. Okay. I think we've hit all of the questions here.
Nice. And thank you guys so much for taking time out of your evenings. It just shows Scouting is just a phenomenal community. And if you're here, you feel the same way I do. We don't want the kids to miss out on the Scouting experience. So the more we can keep them involved, man, the more Eagles we'll get in the future. So definitely encourage your parents and your kids to, even if it's just simple things. We're looking to do some challenges, like some different types of council-wide, challenges. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, you'll start hearing about different ways that we're going to really start to include the kids in some online stuff.
Okay.
Steve Ross has a question here about, let's see. So he says, although this is focused on virtual meetings, has anyone had luck with sending materials or meeting plans via email to parents? For example, the activity a day calendar that's out there. Let's see, Steve, we're definitely using the COVID or the North Cascades COVID-19 resource page, and I'm looking for that. Sorry, I'm looking for that link. There it is.
Yeah, no worries. And hey, this is Steve. The reason I was asking is I've done some of that emailing stuff to my dens and things like that, but I've got like 0 response. So I was curious if anybody else had experience with that. And are people actually doing it, or are parents like, hey, we're so overloaded, this is like one more thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know for PAC 66, our committee chair sent us an email, posted on the Facebook page, and we got
ask them about that. No, they're home. It's too cold today.
Let's see, Steve, I think that we've talked a lot at the council level about how we know that folks are doing things. One of our solutions is we want to try and post as much stuff as we can through social media, and then encourage folks to respond with pictures or products to show what they did. That way, it's a fun thing for their kids to respond to, and we actually get feedback that says yes, people are doing and using these resources. Through email, that's a little harder to do, but having a unit Facebook page or that sort of thing that you can send stuff out and encourage more response that way might be an effective way to get better feedback. It also looks like Edwin has a comment.
Hey, Eric, it's Ed Rieger.
Hey, Ed.
Nobody knows the Edwin part of it, so I'm incognito. Just a comment on the hiking part of it. The governor did have a broadcast this afternoon, a news conference, where he did a little clarification of that. He does encourage us to get outdoors and to walk, but he does discourage us while we're still under the stay home, stay safe area to avoid going out long distances to find hiking trails, even if they're relatively empty. So just be cautious of that. I know a lot of the hiking requirements, especially for cubs, don't require long distances and major trails, but that's something he did clarify today on his broadcast.
Yeah. Thanks, that's good to know, Ed.
There we go. In the chat, also, I just posted the link to the North Cascades Scouting from Home page. If you haven't seen it yet, they're doing a great job of collecting everything that they see online and putting it up there in ways that are great resources for our scouts to do stuff.
And where did you post that, Eric?
It's in the chat window right now.
Got it.
Pretty long page. If you haven't seen the chat, if you bring up the bar down at the bottom, there's a chat with a little message bubble in it. If you click that, the chat should show up.
I don't see it. I don't see the link. I have the chat window open. But...
Oh, it's
yeah, I don't see it either.
Because I wasn't talking to everyone. Sorry about that.
Good, thanks.
Two quick notes on email. First of all, if you send an attachment, it's a good idea to send an email without an attachment in case somebody gets it filtered. So a lot of times I'll be sending emails with attachments just after an email without an attachment. So I send without attachment saying, I'm gonna send an attachment in a minute. If you don't get it in like 5 or 10 minutes, let me know. That way, if there's filtering issues because of the attachment, that gets by. And the other one is if no one replies, they may not be monitoring their emails. So it may be necessary to use that other communication device, which I don't think we talked about much today, called the phone.
I was just thinking you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Phone.
The way I phrase it, I heard it someplace. I like sharing this one. Email is the illusion of communication.
I like it.
All right.
Steve, do you still have a question? You have your little hand, you have the hand thing raised. No?
Oh, sorry, I was looking for the unmute. No, I raised that before I asked, so
Okay.
sorry, I didn't know I had to unraise it.
Yeah.
My bad. But actually, just to point out this, so I just followed the link on this thing, and if you scroll down, there's the 30-day challenges. That's exactly what I was referring to in my question, and this is some good material here.
I have another really great website that I have really enjoyed. Let me see if I can pull it up and share it with you. I don't know if I can share it, but I will copy the link. Hold on. Where did you go? All right. And I will put it here. I just found it really great. Cub Scouting Adventures from Home Ranked Challenges. They kind of break down all these different things, and they break them down by den, by lion, tiger, bear, wolf, weeblo. It's a nice resource. All right. Well, thank you again. If there's no more questions, I know there's a scout version of this coming up very shortly. So have a great evening. If you need anything, once again, reach out. We'll try to answer as best we can and support you as best we can. And happy scouting. Keep calm and scout on. Or be calm and scout on.
Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a great night.
Have a great night.